Hey guys, this is Sorbeck from Axie. We are now halfway through the season 0 of Axie, and I decided to make a video explaining the strategy top players are using to reach like 10k score in Axie, how to search for the axes on the marketplace, how to I'm evaluate some cards to all the cards actually to how they fit in this strategy, if they are good or not, what you should accept as okay, it's good enough for me to use, and what is a must have for the strategy. So let's go. Um, First thing is that the body type that's currently dominating the meta is the spike one. And one thing that I want to say up front is that yes, spike is the strongest one, that there's no doubt about it. But some people bought almost all the spikes on the market, so it's very hard to find Exidol meta spikes, and they become very expensive. And I don't think they deliver that much of result for paying like 25-30 bucks to one spike. So I think my first comment is that, in my opinion, the Big Yak will do a Big Yak with the perfect skill combination will be better than a Spike with chunky skills, because you don't want to pay $50 for a team. So Big Yak are good. You One of the strategies is to use healing, and as the spike takes less damage, each healing point you get, it's worth more. But you happen to have a lot of overheal, so you are sitting there with 120 HP, full HP, and you are not getting the healing because you are full HP already. And with the Big Yaki, you'll be taking more damage, but you will less often be at full health. So every time the healing is supposed to be healing you, it will get value. So that's yeah. I think the Big Yak will be start getting worse like at 25 minutes, 26 minutes, when you have a big amount of flies coming over you, and then the spike will shine comparing to the Big Yak. But up to that point, if you are not making like I don't know, 8,000 by that point, you'll probably be just fine with a Big Yak and a better skill selection than a cheaper Big Yak, and a better skill selection than what you get with Spike, because it's too hard to find the spikes right now. So let's first I will talk about the bites. So I decided to make a I just cut some axes here, and the mouth is the easiest part to filter, and that's what you should be using in your filter. So the meta is just Sirius, Zigzag, and Piranha or Pincer. That's the meta. That's what you should be aiming for. And I left Hazelbite here unchecked because I haven't tried, but it might be able to replace Zigzag. So if you find an Axie that has Zigzag, that has Hazelbite over Zigzag, and it's very good, I would consider training, practicing with the Hazelbite instead of Zigzag, and see how it goes. Also, Axie keys is like, it could replace the Sirius, because you need some skill to apply mark. But if you are replacing Sirius with Axie keys, you need some Babylonia to give you knockback. If you play Sirius, the Babylonia is not mandatory, but you also need some things to knock back the bosses. And Sirius is great because it's an easy card to find, it knocks backs, and it applies marks. So it's a very, very solid card. But Axie keys can, if you have a great Axie with Axie keys, and you find another one with Babylonia, that will probably be just fine. So the mouth is pretty straightforward. And now the second most important part is here. I tried to make a few color, but it wasn't very good. So the back is the after the mouth, the back is the most important body part. And the first one, I will try to do some weird coloring to see how it goes. So the mandatory card is Snail Shell. You need a Snail Shell. That's the card you are leveling up. You are picking Snail Shell no matter what. If you are 1 HP and you happen to have a healing skill, you pick Snail Shell because you need it to go well in the run. You just go Snail Shell all day long. And after that, you go for the DPS you choose, Pincer or Piranha, and Zigzag. That's it. And so let's go back to the back slots. The other very popular skill is Bidens. Bidens is very strong because the healing is applied passively. So you don't have to explode the shield to get the heal to your character. So as Spikes benefits a lot of healing, this is a very popular card that I think all the builds are running it, and that have great value right now. And besides that, the other card that are filling the third back slot is Sponge and Headgear. That's because they are shields and they have big explosion areas. So if you find yourself in the middle of a bat wave, these two shields are the ones that are going to kill more amount of bats. Besides that, the order that I left unchecked, I will comment on each of them. So bonus sale, it's a drop skill that will knock back the enemy also. So not great, one of the worst options for the back, but it's still like if you have the perfect Axie and it happened to have bonus sale, you already have Snail Shell and Binance. Okay, some people also use Green Thorn for extra knockback and the front damage. Shiitake would maybe make more sense for the Big Yaki because you'll be getting more healing, but those three skills is like you can play them, but they are like in the bare limits of playable, just above the minimum. And Spike Wing is you actually shouldn't be looking to have Spike Wing. Because I will comment that one of the you can use a dash as one of the strategies. And if you are going for dash, but if you are going to use a dash, it's better not to spend back slots on it. It's better to have a tail or horn slots to get your dash. Okay, all the other are shields, and so it's ideally what you want, what you need. If you get if you have this two, and you happen to find an Axie with great other skill combination and have any of the shields, it's okay, it's just fine. It's another defense and you like it. Maybe I wouldn't pick Hermit for this strategy because you are not walking around much, so you are more like standing still using the Snail Shell to protect yourself and bite things in front of you. So I wouldn't use Hermit, but all the other shields are just fine. Okay, and now let's go through this. This has less options here. Okay, that's the tail. The tail is kind of the least important body part right now. So the only skill that's really strong right now, it's Pupai, but even Pupai, it's not like a mandatory skill. It's good. It's very good because it has a very high explosion area, a very high damage for it's just like Uncle, but it happens to have a way higher damage, so it helps a lot with killing bats in the early game. And in the late game, it drops, I think it drops four poops. I don't know what it drops, but it drops four projectiles that they so each cast will knock back the enemies 4 times. and that's pretty solid for you to help with defending yourself from the fly. So Pupai is a very good skill, but you shouldn't be like rely on I need Pupai to play, because it's a very uncommon skill, because it has never been meta on Axie Infinite. So there are not many axes. Most of the Pupai axes are axes that are bred wrongly. People wanted another tail and happen to have Pupai, and so there it is. Let me see. Another a popular thing that's happening is having either EM or ants. EM is very easy to find because it's a plant and we have a lot of plants. So an axe with EM and Sirius is probably very common, and you won't have trouble to find. They help you with killing bats. They help with AoE damage. They knock back the enemies. They have solid damage, because everything right now that applies damage status, that applies poison, bleed, or burn, it's better than the other options right now, because it's just doing more DPS overall. That's the quicker explanation, is that the EM, the burn, and the poison, and the bleeds are helping a lot of the damage. That's why we use Pincer and Piranha as main DPS, because they apply bleed, and the other DPS just can't stand with this bleed damage. Okay, so let's keep going with the, oh boy, it's here. Rancho is the same situation. It's also it's a decent skill, because it also has the knockback. It doesn't have the extra damage, so it won't be dealing nearly as much damage as EM or Ant, but it also knocks back the enemy, so it will help you against the flies. And let me just comment on shields. Shields are always great. So you have Cottontail and Wall Gecko are playable skills. And Hair is something that I haven't used this pet, but I know Hair is a strong DPS. And I personally wouldn't recommend to pick Hair, because I think you only play Hair if Hair is your main card. And right now you have the Snail Shell to be your main card. Hair could be like the second one. You pick Snail Shell, you pick Hair. But the DPS from Piranha and Pincer, in my opinion, is just higher. So I wouldn't pick Hair. I just left it unchecked, but because I had to explain why. But I wouldn't pick Hair. Let's keep going. Carrot is like, okay, you have the perfect Axie and that's enough DPS. That's a valid skill that delivers a solid amount of damage. In the early game, it's very strong, and it also hits in the same position as Pincer and Piranha, so it's hitting the same enemies that the other are hitting, so it has a good synergy and could be played. And the other cards are just early game, like Hatsune, to use as a first skill, because I think it's the best start of the game. Hatsune, it falls off very hard in the late game, but it's a solid first pick that will help you a lot to get more gems in the first minutes and kill the boss very quickly. And the other skills are more like CC skills. So you have a Sleepy, and I think Rice already lured the enemies. Yeah, so it helps you dropping the aggro, so the enemies are not running towards you. Same for Fish Snack. Fish Snack is a skill I like a lot to dodge the flies. And another CC skills like Gravel Ant that applies fear, Shrimp that freezes. So those are skills that are just support skills for you to pick, have one level on it, and they are just support skills for you. And the other options here is Cattail also applies Charm. I haven't played yet, but I saw some of the guys using on the top, so it might be a good card. I haven't played Cattail yet, but I would consider it if I find an Axie that's very good and has Cattail. I wouldn't think of it as a better option. And here we have Navaga and Post Fight. So Post Fight and Navaga, they are dashes. And well, if you are playing with dashes and you want to play with dash, that's a different gameplay. It's kind of weird to control at the moment, but they help you both to survive and to collect more gems, because the dashes are not only about moving away from the enemies. It's also used to, you dash, you collect more gems in a shorter period of time, so they help, and they also help to reposition yourself to kill more bats. So dashes are good. I find it's a little weird to control. I don't know if this build works better with dash. I have used for my current leaderboard score, use beach as the horn, and it's good, but I don't know if I would choose to have a dash. If it happens to find again the perfect combination of skills and it has a dash, okay, I'll take it. I'll play with the dash because it does helps a lot. And I think that's it for the tails. Let's finish with the horns. So with the horns, let me check the. Let's put the heart again, and okay. So we have the dashes. We have. I have already said about the dashes in the for the last body types, the last body part. So it's like mostly the same. And if it happens to have, okay, but I wouldn't use much. It would it force it on my search. Again, here we have the shields. Leafy Bug, Arco, those are great skills because you have a lot of protection, you have a lot of healing coming from the zigzag, and you need that little extra defense that's just buying you time to bite another time and heal a lot of HP. So every shield is a good pick. If you can find an Axie with that has shields, it's always a solid pick. Same goes Bumpy. I wouldn't go. I don't. Bamboo. I don't think it's nice right now. Terraces is kind of the same as the bonus sale. It has the knockback effect. It has a good early game. It helps you killing the bat waves. So it's a decent pick, but I wouldn't focus on either Serasis or Uncle. It's just again, okay, I'll take it. And we have these two healing skills that I haven't tested many, but they might be useful for you to have, and they might be overheal for the spike. But with the big Yaki, you have more room for having another healing skill that will deliver a lot of value. Maybe having another healing skill is better than have some random Cerastes on the Big Yaki, because with the spike you would be full HP before you have get the value from Anemone. But with Big Yaki you'll probably be able to get a lot of heals from Anemone, and will be worth it. Top tier Babylonia, of course, because it knocks back the enemy. It's very strong to knock back. I left this unchecked because some top player were playing this, but I don't think it's worth it. It's a DPS skill. I wouldn't take it as a DPS. This is a very easy skill to find. The Parasite. It's not great. It's okay. It has a good early game, but it's very common because you want snail shell is mandatory, pincer is almost mandatory, and you have a lot of pincer parasites, snail shell, fish snack axes. And this is a very solid axe because you have the tail that helps dropping the aggro, the fish snack. You have the mandatory snail shell, the mandatory pincer, and the parasites. It helps in the early game, and as a secondary effect, it's put the enemies together. So in the late game, sometimes you are surrounded by monsters, and the parasite will strike a group of enemies and will group them. So okay, that's a good bite, and you bite them, and you have more effective damage, because instead of bite like 7 enemies, you are now biting 12 enemies because the parasite grouped them together. So it's a very, I think it's a very easy skill to find, because it will be a very cheap Axie to find, and parasite might be one of the picks. So besides that, pliers I haven't played. It might be good for the knockback, but I also wouldn't take pliers if I could. And we are left, I spoke about Cerasis and Uncle, and we are left with Cactus and Oranda. Those are nice skills, because they do more damage, and they strike in front of you in a big area, just like it's a big area, but it strike in the same position as the Pincer, the Piranha, the Zigzag. So it's synergized well. And in the late game, your game plan is to stay almost stand and just moving around slightly to bite the enemies, and use the snail shell to protect you. So you will be surrounded of enemies all the time, and those two skills will do a lot of damage, because there are a lot of enemies to be hit in that area. So these are nice skills to pick. And I think about the skills, that's the plan. So the first thing you should know is you are prioritize snail shell. That's it. You need snail shell to survive. And after that, you're going to be picking the main DPS. That will be Pincer or Piranha. It's why are they more important than Zigzag? It's because the Zigzag only starts shine in the very late game, like at least on the Gargoyles, when you have a lot of groups of enemies, like by 16, 17 minutes, there are more enemies start to spawn, and the Zigzag, it's able to heal you a lot of HP. In the early game, it's just biting 3, 4 enemies, so it's not healing you a lot. You don't want that, you don't need to spend your DPS levels on Zigzag. So Zigzag would be the third pick, because if you have higher DPS, you'll be able to kill walls. You'll be able to melt the bosses quickly. You'll be able to kill all the enemies quickly. So that should be the priority order. And this as I would try to separate now. Oh, so this is, I think this is very clear by this point. So let's try the snail shell. We have here Bidens as the skills you want to have. Now I'm trying to build a search list for you to search, to go on the market and try to find something that's about this, close to this. The mount should be always selected in the filter. So you should, the thing is, you should be going to the market and I can do that instead of just writing. Sorry. So we go here and we go Pincer, we go Piranha, we go Sirius. What are we missing? Zigzag. We have Snail Shell, and we have Bidens. That's our goal. That's what we want to have. And you see that's you see here, Hotbutt is a skill I don't like. This guy is, I would play it. This guy I would play it. I don't like this horn. This guy is like maybe suboptimal because it has two skills that are just okay. This guy is Hotbutt. So first thing I would say, I don't want Hotbutt. Okay, give me something else instead of Hotbutt. Okay, so now we have Cactus. We have this hair. I'm just filtering the results that are too common. So I'll EM. So this guy is nice. EM is a nice pick. Cactus is a solid pick. And well, if you follow that list I've made it in that explanation I made it before, you happen to have a nice find. Oh, actually, we can include the Big Yaki here, and see how it goes. So the first page, it goes up to $6 without the what we remove the hotbar. So all those guys, no, not this one, but this guy, these are all playable Axies. I don't like this horn. This is not selected, but we have like options that will be playable here with the cattail. Again, the cattail, and we have you can see you have a lot of options to pick that are not remotely as pricey as the spikes. If we search here for the spike, we have this guy that has a terrible combination of tail and horn, and then we have this guy with a bad tail. This guy might be playable, I think. If you want to be these two guys are okay and not that pricey yet, but from here you already see that's $24, so it's way expensive. It's the same value you will be spending on the whole Big Yaki team, plus the Big Yaki, and the enlisting cost will be like $24, I think. So yeah, that's too expensive in my opinion to be a build that I would suggest. Those two guys, well, if it fits your budget, you can probably handle the game with them. And okay, now we don't need the spike, and so I will grab one Axie and do the a whole team with this Axie. So here we are going with this. It's weird that Sirius is not common. I think Gravel went to Bidens. I think this build was popular in V2, so that's why there are a lot of Axes like this. Because the most common thing is to have a lot of Sirius. But okay, I'll take the cheapest one. I'll take this guy. This guy is a round kit. So what we'll have, we'll select this guy, and right now we will remove Big Yak from the filter because we don't have body type specifics right now. We will be playing this guy, and we remove Zigzag, and we remove Bidens. Okay, now you see that we have plenty of Axie. First we will remove the Thorn Caterpillar because of the Terminators, and there will be a lot of Thorn Caterpillars, and also the leggings, just to avoid the Caterpillar, those weird Terminators. And here you see that that's a very common Axie. This guy works just fine. You have the Leaf Bug. Leaf Bug is actually very good. I will go one step further. As we don't have the limitation right now on the body type, I will go search just top skills for the horn. Arco, Leaf Bug, Bumpy, Babylonia. Those are the skills I like the most. I think they will help the most the player. And see, you have like a full page of this Axie. You like, if anyone wants to play Axie Doll, they can pick these guys to collect their skills, because there are just way too many Axes with this combination. And so I will just go with this guy, like it's a very simple one. Maybe I'll try to find the EM. I think the EM will be better to have if we can find it, and it's cheaper. No, it's cheap enough. I will stick with the EM. I think the EM is a little better than the carrots. Okay, so we have these two guys. At this point, we have the snail already. We have the zigzag. So we need the piranha or the pincer. we don't have leaf bug, and we don't need EM anymore. So again, we are here looking for another Axie that will finish our build. So right now we are only selecting Babylonia and Piranha or Pincer. Okay, let's take a look. So it has a shield, but the tail is not very good. I think we don't have many tail options, so let's put them in. And cotton tail, let's first try to find a cotton tail or wall gecko Axie, because it would be nice to add another shield. So cottontail, I haven't done this search before, so it's taken it's like real time what I'm sharing here. So okay, so this is not very common, not pretty expensive, so you won't find many. This guy is great, like it has triple shields and a pincer. This is a very good pick, but it's 11 bucks and it's one of a kind, so I want to stick with it. I'm trying to explain the thinking process behind the build, not just something that you do step 1, step 2, step 3, but instead you understand why these things are strong, why these are strong combinations. So if you happen to go to the market and not have the exact combination I'm telling here, you can adapt yourself to find a good one, even if it's not the same I'm showing here right now. So what we had here, so here I select the snail shell, but maybe we should have we should go with the snail shell and the pincer, because it's a more common Axie. Let's go here. So we have the fish snacks, pretty good, and we have a lot of parasites. This is, so I say this is a good, this was a good pick to have, and I think it will be a better option, because here you see we have a very common plant kit here. So this we will have a lot of Axies like this, removing the snail shell, and the same goes for here. So I just try to remove the parasite and see if we find something better. But the parasite is just fine. Maybe we find a narco. Anemone is okay for healing. Beach would be a nice dash. And yeah, I think I'll stick with the parasite. So we remove this guy from here because this is a very common combination, and it's easier for us to find a better snail shell if we stick with these 3 parts, a better back slot, because this is just too common. Okay, so we remove this guy, we grab a regular pincer parasite, and let's clear this, and we go with the Sirius, the leaf bug, the yeah. Oh, here we exclude pumpkin. We don't like pumpkin, and pumpkin is the most common skill. So yeah, we have a plenty of Axie for us. And okay, here that's it. Here we have a lot of, so head here, great Axie. Hermit I don't like that much. Here no, Garish Warm, nope. Let's go. This is Spike Wing or Scarby? Spike Wing, nope. I guess there are so many Axie we can actually filter. Let's filter with the shields. So it could be Kingfisher, it could be Hero, it could be Mint, it could be Sponge, Head Ear, Am I forgetting? Kingfisher here, Scarab. I'm just missing Scarab and Anemone. But this Anemone back is a shield? Yep. So Anemone and Anemone back, Scarab. Okay, you have lots of axes with a different shield. So uh, this is what I wanted to achieve. So I think that it will be nice. So we have a lot of axes that will give us 2 shield. I will select a random one like this with the mint. So we have a team that has the 3 mouths we want. We have the 2 backs, the 2 main back cards that are Bidens and the snail shell. We have extra shields on mint and leaf bug, so that's good. And we have 2 the tails. We have the yam with the knockback and the damage from the late game. That's a solid card. The other 2 are CC, so this will apply a fear. It will help a lot with the non-turtle bosses that will take the fear and move you away from you. This guy that will help you surviving the flies, because they will give, it's like if the flies are following the fish snack for 2 seconds, that's 2 seconds. You have 2 extra seconds for one of your shields spawn again, for you to give 1 extra bite, and that's most of times enough for you to survive instead of dying, because it happens a lot to you go for 5% HP and then go back to full. So if you have took like 10 more damage, you would have died, and that's the end of the run. So if this can get you alive with 5% HP, it's just enough. You will bite your way to full HP again, and it's like it never happened. Okay, so we have the parasite that I think I explained a lot, that will group the enemies together for you to use your 3 skills. And also the cactus. The cactus here is a very big area. Sometimes it will save you your bat wave, because it will strike the bat wave and kill it. And in the late game, you have a big group of enemies on your screen. You can use the cactus to apply a lot of damage in a big group of enemies. So I think we already a very long video, but I want to give to be more complete. I want to give a more some strategy as well. So where did my, oh, they came over here. I don't know why it's not working. Okay, here. There's the other guy. You and you. So this is our team. We are playing this guy. And so the strategy is you try to get the snail shell every time you can. You here with this build, you can actually start with snail shell. That I usually start with Pupai in my build, but Pupai is very weird. You can surely include in your search, try to find a Pupai axe, but it won't be easy, and not everybody will be able to get a Pupai axe. So I will just skip this, and so you start with the snail shell, and your priority will be snail shell, pincer, and zigzag. Besides that, it's nice for you to have not so early, but like uh, before 2 minutes or something like this. If you have the Bidens, is just fine, because you won't need to worry about your HP anymore. As soon as you pick Bidens, you won't die until late game, because it's just too much healing. And when you don't have snail shell, pincer, and zigzag to pick in your level up selection, in the early game, you want to focus on skills that will help you to kill more enemies in the early game. So you don't want fish snack, you don't want mint, you don't want leaf bug, because those skills are not getting you more kills. They are defensive skills, and you don't need defensive at this point. So Sirius is a nice card, and Sirius is actually your fourth upgrade option. So if you don't have these three guys, but you have Sirius, that's a nice pick, because Sirius applies the knockback, and that's very important for the bosses. And it has something that's very unique in Axie. Most of the cards have a bad level 2. So if you pick all of those cards, I think literally all of those options, they have bad level 2s. They, in their level 2, they give 20% more shield, more damage. It's not very impactful. But the series, it gives you cooldown reduction right on level 2. So 20%, 25% cooldown reduction is basically in 3 seconds. In the time it took to cast 3 times, it's now casting 4 times. So that's a big improvement for you to help apply more knockback, apply more mark to the walls, and so on. Another thing about the walls, you only want to go to kill the yellow walls once you have the 3 bites, because you need the Sirius to apply the mark. Otherwise, it's not worth going for the yellow wall kills. And the other 2 bites just help a lot. If you have a high level pincer and a Sirius and 1 level of Sirius, you can still go for it even without the zigzag. But without the 3 skills, just don't try to kill the walls. It's way better to just kill the monsters that are walking around. Okay, and so I think that's it. The game plan is kind of this. If you don't have a lot of snail shell levels, it happens. It's bad RNG, and it will be harder to survive in the late game. But if you have a run, you get at least level 7 of snail shell by minutes 9, something like this. You already have a very solid run, because you already have your protection. The flies ain't gonna hurt you much, because they will be going down for the snail shell, and your other skills will be dealing the DPS to help you improve your gem count. And once you get so you find yourself a way to survive past 16 minutes, you you'll be always surrounded by enemies, and that's okay. That's why you use snail shell. It's like you just take a few steps forward to bite the big number of enemies, and then you bite the enemies in front of you. Okay, then you move to the other side to bite the enemies that were following you, and keep doing like this to survive. And well, the rest you'll be learning as you play. To when it's time to move out, it's if you are playing and get a good amount of levels, you won't be you probably can stay in the middle of the monster with a high level snail shell and a good level in the bites, like for 21 minutes. And after, in the minute 22, maybe it's good for you to go outside and not stay surrounded, but to stay like the group of enemies here. You stay on the side and biting like this, not in the middle of the enemies. And well, that's a very long video already. I think that's what I want to, the intel I want to give you guys about the how to play the strategy. What's the pros are the pros, the we that have the highest scores, what we are doing, and that's basically it. So I hope this helps, and I'll be answering in the comment section. If you want to comment on some strategy, I will answer all the questions and try to uh, help you guys to find your top score. So that's it. Thank you for watching. If you you have the patience to watch this 45 minutes of me talking about this beautiful little things, I appreciate that. Thank you a lot, and see you on the leaderboard.